My front wheel skids, Tottenham fans. Just wanted to talk about the team for a little while. Don't normally talk about the team like this on this channel because I don't feel like I'm a strategic mastermind, and I'm no coach. But I've played football. What did we make of that game last night? Some really bad passing. Some selfish players. No service up front whatsoever. Now, is that the fault of the up front, or is it the fault of the midfielders? Now, we'll go old school on this because you've got all these different names. We just call them defence, midfield, and our strikers up front. And the keep taking the ball on the right hand side, kudos. If I've heard them two names mentioned more than any other names, and I've watched Tottenham in the last couple of weeks, no, this ain't the way that it should be played. It's a team game. I want to hear everyone's name. Last night, Johnson was on. I think I only heard his name about 3 times. What's going on? Who's to blame? Who do we think's to blame? The internet will tell you that it's probably Frank to blame, and we've got mediocre players. If you look at another platform, they'll probably blame Joe Lewis and the transfer window. If you look at footballers online, what they've got to say, one of them even called it, "I love this new front-footed football." And that was by Mickey Hazard on X. Do you know what? He must be seeing something totally different to me, because I'm not seeing front-footed football. What I'm seeing is a menagerie of defence, midfield, defence. There's no transitional play up front. There's no creative play up front. It took Romero yesterday to free himself from the bondage of Thomas Frank football and take matters into his own hands and score a goal. Out of position on both times. And he scored goals from both positions that he broke into. Was he playing gung-ho football? Did he think to himself, I've had enough of this. I've got to take the game by the scruff of the neck and just have it. And it worked. Well, I don't think we're taking enough chances. Because these crosses coming in from the side, I really don't want to see them. But are we playing these crosses in from the side because the confidence in the passing at the minute is not there? So many passes against Newcastle just didn't reach where they were supposed to reach. Balls were too slow. Balls were, nonchalantly played. And it was just terrible to watch. That first half was terrible to watch. Is it a product of Thomas Frank, or is it a product of loads of different things? Are the players divided? Are the squad divided as a team? Is what's happening? Is he picking certain players over certain players, and the other players are getting the ump over it, and just what's that word when you go into yourself? They just go into themselves and think, do you know what? Fuck it. I know I ain't going to play. There was a great video last night that was on Sky where they shot the Spurs bench face by face, and they all looked like they had the ump. The only one that looked like he didn't have the ump was Kinski, leaning over, having a watch of what Thomas Frank was actually saying. I'm not understanding why Thomas Frank is writing his memoirs at the side of the pitch. What are you writing on them bits of paper, Mr. Frank? Because there's no time. It's real-time football, real-time game. There's no point writing on bits of paper. It's real-time. You know, get out there, shout your mouth off, scream. I did see him in the second half screaming for people to get down, run forward. Get down, run forward. And the players are a bit nonchalant. Kudos looked a bit nonchalant yesterday as well. You know, there was one ball where he lost it and he could have got it back and he didn't. It was like he just thought, oh, fuck it. we've got quite a lot of players like that that just won't go for the ball. They won't attack the ball. The pressing is non-existent. Last night, did you see the pressing happening? No, not really. There was nothing, was there? Absolutely no pressing from forward players, midfield players. Put a lot more pressure on our defence. Put a lot of pressure on Porro. Certain balls played to certain players. They're passing the buck They're passing the buck with these passes. They're putting their own players under pressure for nothing when they could be playing a different pass. Perhaps the reaction time and the creativity isn't there with some of these players that we've got. I can't pick out any names because it's just one player after another that you think, oh, he's playing all right tonight. And then all of a sudden, 4 bad passes and you think, oh, is this just how it is now? I will call certain players mediocre. We all know who the mediocre players is. And I call certain players could actually shine if we had a structure to the squad, i.e. we've got the same squad coming out time after time, and then we can rotate with who we've got on the bench without foul of wearing some of these players out. We had Van der Ven on the bench last night. We did miss him on that side because a lot of the football was played on the right-hand side last night. So, obviously, whoever we had on the left, was it you, Doggy? There was no one in front of you, Doggy, in between him and Johnson to actually pass the ball through, to come out on the inside and pass the ball again. There's nothing there, was there? It was just non-existent. It's a very strange strategy, very strange managerial style that we've got at the minute. As I said, Thomas Frank is not my cup of tea, but we'll stick with him because you can't keep changing these managers. The same with Ange. We stuck with him. We can't keep changing these managers. I don't know what you feel, as some of you have played football. I know you have, who watch. Some of you ain't played football. Some of you have just been FIFA football things. What do you think? Do you think that the Tottenham squad is getting better? I can't see no improvement, right, in the Tottenham squad per se. I can see we're rebuilding something. I don't know what, because it's not visible to us at the minute. Do you think the squad are divided? Do you think the squad are divided because of the Thomas Frank mix and match squad, what he keeps picking different people for different games? And I'm not understanding why we're having good players having good couple of games or showing their star quality, and then Thomas Frank putting them on the bench. I'm really not understanding. He's very confusing as a manager. I don't know whether he's confused coming into a big club like Tottenham. It might take him a lot more longer to settle in than the Mourinhos, the Contes. I don't want to go back to Pochettino era, to be honest with you. I'd rather go back, if we had to pick a star out of the last how many donkeys years, I'd rather pick Redknapp style mixed with a bit of Ange ball, and see players playing fluid for the shirt football. That's what I think. Who would you like to see in the squad? AJ picked a little squad out, and I said to him, I'd like to see Romero played up front. Perhaps we've got our arse turned on backwards. You know what I mean? Perhaps we should be putting Van der Ven up the top with Romero and letting them just go at it. Perhaps we need 2 defenders and chuck them 2 up there. I've got no problem with that. If he wants to change the squad up, old Thomas, I think that would freak people out, wouldn't it? It's nice to see, what do they call Romero? Centre back now. In my day, we would have called him proper hard nut defender. I'd like to see more of him up the top, and Van der Ven more up the top, and I'd like to see a lot of the midfield covering. The 2 wingers on the midfield come back and invert and cover a little bit. So if the ball does get played over the top, at least we've got fucking these two fucking midfielders to run back and cover for a little while, and while we've got Big Kev at the back, and who else we ain't got? We could do with a nice big defender. We could do with a nice big defender. So we've got VDV, Big Kev, Romero, and someone else, and play four at the back and play this 4-4-2. It would be a little bit better, you know. At least then it would free up Romero to run up the front and get out of position, or VDV to run up the front and get out of position. One of them could take responsibility and start ordering the team about. I think that's about it. Like, all I wanted to say. Have a good one. Take care. Brush your fucking hair.